Welcome to Woodburn Rising, and today we're not actually in Woodburn, which is kind of I guess an issue for most people, but we're actually here in Hillsborough, and I am here fulfilling a mission of a lifetime. Some of you may be familiar with the science fiction television show Doctor Who, which started in 1962, I believe, and in it had a creature, a robot creature called a Dalek, which moved to conquer the Earth. And when I was 8 years old, I was so obsessed with Daleks that I had a Dalek birthday party. I had a Dalek in the shape, a cake in the shape of a Dalek. I had people give me little Daleks. I had people give me Daleks that were this high. I loved Daleks. I couldn't get enough of Daleks, and I'm still a Dalek addict. But here I am now in Hillsborough with Cameron Harper, the daughter of the brilliant Intel Engineer of the Year Mike Harper, who has now copied the secret planetary designs of the Dalek and created one. So I'm with Cameron. This is the last relic I had of my Dalek when I was 8 years old. Just the lower half of the body. They call it the skirt of the Dalek, right, Cameron?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your own crazy obsession.
Well, it took 18 months to build. The Dalek, I first discovered that people had Daleks like this on YouTube. I was just watching YouTube videos, and at first I thought that it was a giant remote control Dalek, but then in the YouTube video the top came off and someone waved. So I was like, Dad, can we build a Dalek?
And you actually did have a dad who could build a Dalek.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy. My dad used to make suits, but this is unbelievable. So how did your dad go about making the Dalek?
Well, first we went to Home Depot. We got a few pieces of wood. We didn't know exactly what we were going to do yet. And then before we knew it, we started building a Dalek. But the first attempt to start building it, this skirt, it failed because my dad didn't look at the instructions.
Ah, that's a problem. He usually does look at the instructions, doesn't he? Anyway, maybe we need to get him to come and talk with us. Shall I invite him to come on camera and we'll ask him?
Mm-hmm. He's taking his
and this is Mike Harper, the master creator of the Hillsborough Dalek. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
So tell us a little bit about how you got involved in this, and you yourself got so obsessed in it that you took 18 months perfecting it.
So after she asked, I was kind of like, well, I don't know. Let me think about it for a while. And I thought about it for a couple of weeks, did a little bit of research, and I was able to find the plans, like drawings and stuff, online, and started from there, but I didn't read it close enough.
So there's actually a community of Dalek makers.
Yeah, I hadn't found the community yet. I had just found the plans and started working on it. And then right after we started working on it, I did more research, and I found there's a website based in the UK that just people all over the world build these things. And it's a helpful community. Everybody has build diaries, and they have photos and instructions on how they go about tackling certain problems and what materials they use and all that. So once I found that website, I just read and read and read for a week or two, and discovered I had started wrong, but we hadn't gotten very far into it, so we scrapped that and started over again and followed the plans closer and interacted with a lot of people all over the world, and the United States and UK and all that.
These things are not small. I mean, my Dalek is kind of pitiful.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than that.
And it's headless, which is really sad. But how big is your Dalek? How tall is it?
Do you know? It's 5 something.
I don't think we measured.
It's less than 6 feet, more than 5, maybe 5.5.
So she fits in it?
Yes, she fits in it just fine. Yeah.
And it's motorized?
It is. It's built around like an electric mobility scooter. So it's got like a joystick. You can drive it around and get where you're going.
And the Daleks have, obviously they're not pleasant. They like to kill people and take over planets.
But they're cute when they do it, though.
Yeah.
They're cute when they do it. But they have a special Dalek voice that's very raspy and scary. And
Yes, so the original voice, maybe not from way back when, but the way they use now in the modern series is a guitar effects pedal. So they run the microphone into a what's called a ring modulator, but this one's not actually a ring modulator, but it's based on that. And so it just turns the volume of the voice up and down very fast, and then outputs it to the amplifiers. So you get this modulated voice. So of course we had to have that too. We couldn't tool around the neighborhood without the proper voice. So I've built several versions. I spent a lot of time on the voice changer. Our current version is based on an Arduino Do microcontroller. So it digitizes the voice coming in, does the modulation in software, and then outputs it to an amplifier.
now you are actually, in your background, you're basically an expert. You're a nuclear physicist. And would you say you're an electronics engineer as well? You're a nanotechnologist.
I don't know if I would phrase it that way. So in engineering, you do learn, circuit analysis and basic electronics stuff, and I'd had some courses in high school, and it's always been kind of a hobby to do electronics things like that. As far as nano goes, I do work at Intel. I do make very small things, but that's not really directly related to this sort of thing. It's more hobby.
But have you thought about enhancing the Dalek? 2.0.
Yes. The next task that she wants me to work on right now is motorizing the dome and the eye stalk motion and stuff. Like she'll have a little hat on her head, and then as she turns her head, sensors will make it turn to follow her. And I think I know how to do it, but it's not a small task, so I haven't tried to tackle that one yet.
This is not a finished project. This is an evolving project.
Yeah,
you're developing the Dalek technology.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's never really going to be finished.
Yeah. So in the storybooks, generally the inventor of the monster, eventually the monster itself becomes more dangerous than the inventor.
Yeah, well, this monster's been in control of the whole thing from the beginning.
Are you talking about your daughter? Anyway, so we're going to go and look at you get inside the Dalek, and then we're going to go to the park and we're going to watch the Dalek in action.
Cool.
So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So see you in a moment. Hello, Dalek Cat. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm all right. What is it like being a Dalek? Is it fun? What do you do for fun?
We exterminate the humans.
How do you do that? Do you have different techniques for exterminating them?
We use this.
That looks very nice. What does it do?
It shoots lasers.
That's splendid. What does the plunger do on the other one? Is that when they don't get close enough?
We scan for information with our suction cup.
It's beautiful. You're a very fine-looking Dalek. But what happens at the end of the day? How do you go to sleep?
We don't sleep.
That's pretty scary. So what planet do you come from?
I am from the planet Skaro.
Ah, that's why you're scary. So, how did you get here?
On a spaceship.
And do you plan to stay for a long time, conquering things and exterminating humans?
Yes.
Well, we welcome you. We hope you enjoy your stay.